How much cactus to beat a skeleton spawner? A properly set up spawner can pump out about 360 skeletons per hour. That's roughly 2000 XP per hour. So how much cactus do we need? Well, this farm has 64 plants, and I think it's the ideal size because you can keep stacking it up, and it's not too complicated to set up the water flow. Okay, I've just sprinted an hour and we have 148. So I did do a long-term test, and on average it's about 150 per hour. This is nowhere near enough. Let's upgrade it. Okay, I added 4 layers, and instead of a chest this time I'm going to use a carpet counter. Let's see how much 256 cactus plants can do. Okay, there we go, 472 per hour over a 2-hour test. So if we did the calculations based on the first layer of 64, it actually got 150. So if we times that by 4, we'd get 600, but we didn't. That's because when we break a cactus, unlike the second layer here, it can fall and land on the lower layer, getting destroyed. So we actually lose some produce. Based on this, if we wanted to get 2000, we would need probably about 20 layers instead of the base calculation, which would be close to 15. So that's what I'm going to do. We've got 4 layers now. We're going to go for 20. So this is going to get quite tall. But you do have to remember, the great thing about this is if you set up a proper system where you can cook all this stuff, it works for you when you're not there. With a skeleton farm, you have to stand there. You can have cat with dogs, but still you have to be there. This farm works without that. Okay, 20 layers gets us 1,850 per hour. Not enough, so we need a few more layers. Get there. I did a 5-hour test because as we get into the bigger numbers, we want to do a longer test because they can fluctuate a lot more. Okay, so there we go, and let's have a check. Counter, yep, 2,186, which is more than the skeleton spawner. We need 24 layers of 64 each, so that's about 1,500 cactus. Down here I've also set up for cooking it all. So what will end up happening is the cactus will fall down here into this water and get pushed across this stream. I've frozen time so that it's not working just yet, but if we unfreeze, tick unfreeze, you can see that all going to start happening, and there we go, and we'll get our first set to cook. And if we sprint, you'll see that start to come alive now, and over time more and more of these furnaces will turn on. Since these can only do 360 each, but for the first little while it will only be these 2 furnaces, but very quickly, as you can see, this one's filling up, and then these 2 will start to come on. I think you might have to give it like an hour or 2, but by then everything will be working. Okay, and that's about it. So I ran this for about 3 hours, and you can see all the furnaces are running. It probably needs another hour to be at perfect amounts, but I don't think that last furnace will turn off. But that leaves us at the end of the video. It's a really short one.